Shalom, shalom, family. It's the Hebrew life again. It's Shak Bay Jerusalem. And I'm back with another lesson. We're going to call this one Present Day Prophecies. Yeah, present day prophecies. You got a lot of people who speak on the scriptures these days, speak on the Bible, and they don't understand the power that the book has. They don't understand it's not your average book. It's not a novel. It's not a Harry Potter book. It's the Holy Scriptures, and what makes it the Holy Scriptures is that it holds, every time a prophet speaks, a person speaks in the Bible, it's spoken of in that time and it happens later on in the future, which makes it a prophecy. You can't be a prophet unless you prophesy something. Now, the special thing about the Bible is it's the only book that has future time prophecies in it, and the future time prophecies actually come to pass. We all know what the scriptures say about a prophet who prophesies something and it doesn't come to pass. Like, Yohana, no diss, but I'm just using an example. Like Yohana, when he said the sun was going to end in 99, he had all the brothers sitting out there waiting as watchmen, and it never came by. Then they should have said, okay, he's a false prophet. He prophesied something that didn't come through. I'm still waiting on some people to jump in the room before I get started with the lesson. Still waiting on my eyes to get in the room, man. Already got a dislike, man. Thanks for the love, man. Thanks for the love. I love all my haters, man. I love all my family. We love our haters even more because, they got to come from a special place if you're going to be hating. They got to come from a special wicked spot in your heart to be already hating. But shalom, family. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm back. I know it's late. But I got a lesson I got to get through, too. I don't know who in the room. Let me see before we get started. I can't see who in the room. Detroit 7-2. What's up with you? Shalom, shalom. We ain't got all day. We finna kick it off, man. We finna kick it off. Present day prophecies. We finna go through some prophecies that, shalom, Detroit 72. We finna go through some prophecies that was mentioned in the scriptures that's going down in these days. Present day prophecies. Things that were prophesied by brothers in the scriptures, and it's actually coming to pass thousands of years later, which proved the Bible is not a game, it's actually real. It's a living book. We're gonna kick this off with Deuteronomy 28:68. Yeah, that famous one. We're gonna kick it off with Deuteronomy 28:68, family. Because a lot of so-called black people can relate to this. It's right there in your faces, and it can't be denied. If your ancestors, if you were relatives of the slaves, your ancestors came over here on ships. Most of them came over here on ships, and that will connect you to a prophecy that was prophesied by Moshe or Moses in Deuteronomy, where he gave the children of Israel their blessings and their curses, and we signed a covenant in blood with the Most High. Now, there was blessings to this contract and there was curses. Now, part of the curses was we will be taken into Egypt again on ships. If you got a dollar bill, I mentioned this before, if you have a dollar bill in your pocket, take it out, flip it around, and you'll see there's a pyramid on a dollar bill. I'm going to get into how this is a prophecy. First, I'm going to read the scripture first. Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the whereof I spake unto thee, and thou shalt see it no more again. And there you should be sold unto your enemies, for bondman and bondwomen, or slave man and slave women, and no man shall buy you. Okay, right here we have a present day prophecy, which is going on today through the captivity. You know, is modern day slavery, but it also went on a few hundred years ago with our ancestors. If you look at America, light in a way. If you look at America, you will see that a lot of the cities in America is named after ancient Egyptian cities, like Memphis and Phoenix, even Rhode Island, different things of that sort. Um, when you go to Memphis, you see one of the top places, top tourist spots to look at is the pyramid. I forgot what it's called in Memphis, but there's a pyramid in Memphis, and you know that's a representation of Egypt. That should let you know right then and there that they're worshiping Egypt. I stay in Illinois. We have a Cairo, Illinois, but most people don't know that Cairo started in Egypt. We have a Phoenix, Arizona. Most people don't know there's a Phoenix in Africa, in North Africa, or in the Gentiles' land. Either way it go, most of these lands, this is Egypt again. You have the Nile. You have the Nile River. The Nile River runs all the way through Africa. Then you have the Mississippi River. It runs all the way through America. It's basically the center of civilization. It's the center of a lot of things. And when you go up and down this Mississippi, you'll find different cities that's named after Egypt. When you go up and down the Nile, you'll find these ancient cities in Africa. So when the Most High said, I should bring you to Egypt again on ships, he was talking about this Egypt, spiritually America, which all of their gods, they imitate after Egypt. You could go to Washington, D.C. right now and check out the monuments, and all of them are replicas of what we have in Egypt. So that's just one present day prophecy. We're gonna move on to we're just gonna move on to Deuteronomy 28. We're gonna talk about the blessings. We don't want this all to be bad because we gotta understand some of these present day prophecies is still showing through, and it's showing through on the good side. Deuteronomy 28, and it says, it shall come to pass that if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. If you look right now in the world, the scripture said he should set thee high above all nations of the earth. You could look at black people right now and see we have the talent to outbeat all nations on the earth, whether it comes to business or singing or just sports or whatever. We seem to exceed the expectations when it comes to every nation in the world. The Most High said he should set us high above all nations above the earth. And you see spurts of that within our people. We can't fully come to the fruition of the blessings because we still living in the curses as a nation. But we do have the blessings. We do have many so-called black people doing major things for the world. If you look at all of the great inventors in American history, most of them, 80% of them was black. 80%, 90% of the creations and the inventors you see, they had slaves who created and worked on these things by themselves. You know what I'm saying? And then the master, being the master over the inventor, took on the rights and the claims to the inventions. The Most High said he should set us high above all people on the earth. So that means we're gonna outshine everybody on the earth. But when you tell us the so-called black people, they're always worried about what the other nations is doing. The other nations ain't doing nothing but wait on you to get in your rightful position as kings and queens on this earth. That's what they waiting on you to do. And we not doing nothing like that, because when you look at us, we doing all kind of wickedness, and we doing everything that make people look at us and say, man, this can't be God's people. This can't be the people who the blessings of the Most High was bestowed upon. To separate ourselves, we's a set apart people. That's another, we're going to go to that one. That's another present day prophecy. While we still here, we're going to go to that. We're going to read. This is Deuteronomy 7 and 6. And it says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." We're going to start right there. Here we go again. Before Deuteronomy 28 and Deuteronomy 7, the Most High is telling us we're a set-apart people, we're a special people, we're a holy people. So when you see us on the earth doing special, set-apart stuff that nobody else can do, because we all know Hebrew means from beyond. So when you see us doing all of these things that can't be explained with science, that can only be explained through, man, it had to be the Most High. That had to be the touch of the God in that situation, because it was so amazing. That's our birthright. That lets you know that the Most High chose you and he blessed you. And that's a present day prophecy. You can see the prophecies of Deuteronomy 7 and Deuteronomy 28 still coming to pass in today through our bloodline and through our success. Even though we have just as much success we got just as much failure. But you can see nobody has success like we have, because when black people, so-called black people, succeed, we take it there. We take it to the top. We can't be reached on that level. Okay. Deuteronomy 28 and 44. Because there's many curses we could get into. There's many different present day prophecy things that went on that we could get into. Big facts. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 44. And I'm going to read. And you tell me if this happened present day. Is this a prophecy that happened today or yesterday? Is this something that hasn't passed yet? It says, "The stranger," we're going to start at 43. "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, but thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." That sound like that's us today. We the tail of everything. We the tail of the situation. It says they should lend to us, but we shouldn't lend to them. We already know what's going on when it comes to credit and financials in America. When it comes to so-called black people, we can't get a break. You know what I'm saying? It says they should lend to us, but we should not lend to them. So we need to understand this is still going on today. You have black people probably own the least amount of businesses out of all races in the world, in the United States. But it's crazy because we've been here first. Now, how we been here first? We came over here, we helped build this country, but we still don't own anything because these curses are real. It says they should lend to us and we should not lend to them. This is a present day prophecy that's still going on. You try to get a loan, you black man, your credit could be A1. You still be worried about if you're gonna get the loan if you black just because. You know what I'm saying? Just because they should lend us. We name one black person or one major loan company, a bank, a black company that's out here lending money to black people and, you know what I mean, helping people out. It ain't happening. All of the banks are owned by the Gentiles and the Edomites and all the fake Jews. They own all of the money. So there ain't too many black people or so-called black people who own any type of company that could loan us money to put us on our feet as a nation. When we did have it, we had Black Wall Street, but we didn't when we had the money, we had the economy, and we had the system where we could let our brothers and sisters borrow from us, and we didn't have to mess with the outside world. They wanted to come through and bomb that, but we had to understand that was of the Most High too, because we were in this curses. We can't come to America and think we're gonna live this great, extravagant life, and we still living in the curses. Now, if we could break the curses individually, and the Most High could bless us, that's cool. But as a nation, we got a lot of work to do before we are fully blessed, like the so-called Mexicans and the Chinese who have all these nail shops. We'll never get to that point because they're not going to allow us, because they already know once they put us in a position of power, it's over with. It's over with. Okay. One of my favorites. We're going to go to one of my favorite present-day prophecies, 2 Timothy. We're going to go to 2 Timothy. I think this is gonna be a segment we do, because there's so many prophecies in here. We could go on and on all day about present day prophecies that were spoken about in the scriptures that's coming to pass today. So many. So let's go into it. 2 Timothy. Shalom, servant of Yah. Shalom, brother. We going into 2 Timothy, man, because when I read these curses off on 2 Timothy, you tell me this ain't happening today, that this isn't a present day prophecy prophesied in Timothy, in 2 Timothy. That's why it's one of my favorites, because it's undeniable. You ain't gonna be able to deny that. Damn, you know what? This is going on today. I see this going on every day. I walk out the doors of my house. So when everybody always saying, "Oh, that Bible is old," man, that's back in the day. You know, that's for that time. No, these scriptures are timeless, and that's what people need to understand. When you read these scriptures, man, that these prophecies go for then and now. This truth is a double-edged sword, literally. Literally. It's gonna cut both ways. It's gonna cut in the past and it's gonna cut in the future. It's gonna cut the woman and the man. It's gonna cut the old man and the child. Let me get to it. 100% facts, bro. That's all we spend over here. We can't spit nothing less. It'll be a shame for me to spit anything other than the truth. Okay, 2 Timothy, chapter 3. Now I want everybody to, I'm gonna wait a minute. 2 Timothy chapter 3, I want everybody to pull this. I want everybody to pull this. And I want everybody, when I'm done pulling it, I want everybody to ask themselves, is this happening? Did this happen then? Or is this happening still now? I know it was said then, but is it still going on now? Is it still going on now? 2 Timothy chapter 3, I'm going to read. It says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers," meaning breaking promises, false accusers, lying on people, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High God, having a form of godliness. You got a form of godliness, but you denying the power thereof. For such turn away from this truth. For of this sort there are which creep into houses, and lead silly women laden with sins, led away with divers lusts. Man, if this ain't a present day prophecy, man, I'll take every dollar in my pocket and pay y'all and give it to y'all, man. I could go through this list, man. You can't tell me that people aren't. Now, first of all, we gotta understand this ain't in the last days. We gotta be living in the last days. Whether it's the end of the last days or it's the beginning of the last day, we living in the last days. Because it says men should become lovers of their own selves. Men, you can't tell me men and women ain't lovers of their own selves. You get on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, it's selfie world on that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to take selfies. There ain't no problem with taking selfies. You know what I'm saying? But lovers of their own self, that means people are self-centered. They only care about themselves. They only care about what they got going on. They don't have no team spirit in them. No spirit in them to do anything for the team. It says, boasters, blasphemer, disobedient to parents, unthankful and unholy. I can't count how many times I've seen people disrespect their parents. Because in Israel, you disrespect your parents get to take you down there, and they get to do what they want to you, line you up against the wall and stone you because you don't want to be a fit child. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the parent fault all the time when the child act up, and it ain't the child fault all the time when the parents ain't good. You know, we got laws for that, but we're going to continue. It said, without natural affection. People don't want to show natural affection these days. People don't want to show they heart. They don't want to show that they got feelings. Everybody want to be heartless these days. Everybody want to be a savage these days. So things that people are naturally supposed to be affectionate to, they not able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Things that would normally get on somebody's nerves or normally would touch somebody, they have become like going to jail. They become used to savage stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have natural affection. They could have a woman or something, and this woman could be begging them to do something that they know is right, but without natural affection, you ain't gonna be able to do that. Without natural affection, you ain't gonna be able to love your children correctly. And so many other things. It says truce breakers. We ain't even got to go into that. We already know that people break promises every day. We already know that people lie to people every day that they so-called love. Truce breakers, promise breakers. It says despisers of those that are good. Man, if you a Hebrew in this truth, you already know this is true. People hate you when you try to tell the truth. People hate you when you try to represent righteousness. People hate you when you try to represent good. But why? Because they have that evil spirit in them, and it won't allow them to accept that this brother is trying to do something right. You know what I'm saying? Let me support this brother. No, they want to, man, who dude think he is, man? Dude always think he right. He think he's somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's always this, we think we're heady and high-minded, but no, it's really y'all think y'all heady and high-minded. It's really y'all despise of those that are good. It don't matter what, it seems like these days, it don't matter what somebody bring to people. You know what I'm saying? It's like people want to hear evil. People want to hear bad. Like you get to playing some Israelite music and it's talking about something positive. Man, somebody wicked, they be like, man, what is this? They ain't hearing nobody getting shot. They ain't hearing nobody getting killed. They ain't hearing no bitches or hoes. And you know what I'm saying? They start feeling a little funny, man. I ain't hearing nobody, talking about no evil, man. What did you playing? Despisers of those that are good. It says, having a form of godliness. Everybody think they got the spirit. Everybody think they in this truth. Everybody think that they have the power, but they don't. They have a form of the power, but they deny the source of the power, which is the Most High. You got all these people who want to claim that they're gods, want to claim that they're this and that. I am this, I'm that. No, you nothing without the I am. I am that I am. You can't say I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm an athlete. You can't say I'm nothing without the true I am, who gave us the ability to say I'm anything, whatever you want to choose. It says, Shalom, every time the wicked spirit, every time I listen to Hebrew music, the wicked spirit shot to show. Hey, man, there's some brothers out here, some of the music good, some of the music ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's up to us to discern what's good for us and what's not. Because we all know that everybody who said they Israel ain't Israel. We know that. So just because you saying you Israel, it really don't mean nothing. We're gonna keep going into these present day prophecies. It's finna get deep, man. We 20 minutes in. No, I'm talking about the wicked people get mad when oh yeah, man. Yeah, bro. Yeah, William, man. These people get mad when you put on that righteous music, man. They can't take it. They need to hear like I said, they need to hear their people talking about getting shot. They need to hear about somebody dying or something. Or they don't feel comfortable listening to the music. And we should never feel ashamed to play our Hebrew music. Man, I love playing my Hebrew music after people come and they play that trash music they be having out these days. I love to come right up behind them, man. Listen to this, man. This what's up right here. Listen to this truth music. Put some knowledge up in you. We're going to get into these present day prophecies. Thank you for everybody being in the room. Thanks for all the likes, all the dislikes. Love you anyway. It really doesn't matter. Had to get this lesson off, man. I know I've been gone. Got a few lessons coming up, man. Got a few lessons coming up. Sometimes you just got to live this. Sometimes you just got to put this in your lifestyle. Sometimes you just got to put this in your lifestyle and implement it in every way that you live. And that might take time. That might take time to separate, you know what I'm saying, and set yourself apart more and more in this truth. Because the key is to become perfect in the laws of the Most High. If you ain't trying to get perfect in the laws of the Most High, I don't really know what you're doing. I really don't know what you're doing. If you chasing financials, if you chasing women, if you chasing power and fame, man, you chasing the wrong things. The Most High gonna give you all that if you follow Him first. Whatever you desire. If He don't want you to have it, hey, it wasn't meant for you to have it. That's all it is. Okay. Matthew 24. I want everybody to go to Matthew 24 and 5. Because we got another prophecy. We got another prophecy. Present day prophecy. Something that's going on today. Modern day prophecies. So let's get into it. Matthew 24 and 5. And we're going to read. We're going to start at verse 4. And it says, And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. I'm going to come back to that. Let me keep reading, though. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, earthquakes, in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. We're going to start right there. This is a present day prophecy. When Donald Trump and Obama was in office, all you heard about is war. That's all you read about when you hear about when you turn on the news. Who we finna go to war with next. All we hear is rumors of wars, and it's to keep us in check and to keep us scared and keep us timid, keep us shaky like a little rabbit. You know what I'm saying? Constantly worried about rumors of war, like the scriptures say. This is just the beginning of the sorrows. So everybody's scared, trying to get in their little bunkers because they heard about a war, or they heard of rumors of war. Look, man, that's just the beginning. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm not worried about no wars that are going on overseas, because it's just the beginning of the sorrows. It said you're going to hear about wars and rumors of wars. It said kingdoms going to be going against kingdoms. It said nations shall rise against nations. Earthquakes. You've been seeing all kind of stuff in the weather going on. Earthquakes, pestilence. You see all kind of people starving all over the world. All kind of diseases all around the world. But this is not a present day prophecy. Come on, man, that's BS. This book is alive. This book is speaking on something around the time Yeshua, Jesus, was alive, and he spoke on, and these things are going on today. So anybody trying to say, oh man, the prophets weren't real, the New Testament, or whatever you want to say, man, it's prophecies in the New Testament and the Old. Yeshua went to the Old, went in the New. While he was reading the New, he was living in the Old. Going back to Deuteronomy, fighting the devil. While he was making Matthew and John and all of these. Okay. We're going to go to, we're going to speak on the false Christ thing, because we all know that's going on too. You got plenty of people who came out and said that they was Christ. We got plenty of people who came out and said, I'm Christ, I'm God, and they was lying. Plenty of people. I could go. The list goes on and on. We gonna since we talking about present day, we gonna go with somebody who's present day, who's doing this stuff recently. We got a brother overseas, not even overseas. This brother ain't even overseas. This brother in Mexico. What's his name? You said a Pope? Yeah, they think the Pope is Christ. They think the Pope is Christ. You got a brother right now overseas. I've been watching on YouTube, his name Nature Boy. He calling himself the Christ. Anybody following him thinking he the Christ, you know what I'm saying? That goes right back into what I read in Matthew 24 and 5. Anybody saying they're Christ, they gonna deceive many. This brother, you know what I'm saying? This brother not the Christ, but he'll take the title of it. They kicked his hand and called him. You said they kissing his hand? Yeah, they kissed the Pope hand, man, and call him father. But the scriptures say call no man father. Call no man rabbi, pastor. You got all kind of people who came out and said they was the Christ. You got fucking all kind of people who run all kind of cults and say they the Christ. You got even in Islam, you know what I'm saying? They try to say Muhammad is their Christ. They try to say Muhammad is the last prophet. I try to tell them, though, how is Muhammad the last prophet? And Yeshua is coming back. How is Muhammad the last prophet when two witnesses have to come and spit fire out their mouth and be killed in the middle of the street and resurrected? They was prophesying after Muhammad. So how is he the last? Muhammad dead and gone. So how is, you know what I'm saying, he the last prophet when you got prophets who's coming in Revelations, who they speak of, who gonna be prophesying, spitting fire out their mouth, who I believe is Enoch and Elijah. So how are you the number one prophet? How are you the last prophet? It's all BS, man. It's all BS. I know that's a little off track, but it's all BS because that's present day prophecy. Let's go to a present day prophecy. We're gonna go to Habakkuk. I know people don't really go to Habakkuk, but we gonna go to Habakkuk. You know what I'm saying? We gonna read. We gonna find the prophecy because it talks about people worshiping this stone. We gonna find it. We gonna find it. Y'all hold fast. We gonna find it. Y'all be patient with me, because when I find it, it's over with. Okay, we're gonna start with this one. This is Habakkuk, second chapter, verse 12. It says, "Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity." Is that not how America got set up? Is that not how many of these countries got set up? Through building a town with blood and iniquity, which is sin? Ain't that how they got this country? So anybody over here trying to, that's a present day prophecy. Let's see what happened to the city. It says, woe unto them. It says, behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall be weary of themselves for very vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of and the glory of the Elohim, as the waters covers the sea. Okay. We got another one. We got another present day prophecy. We're going to go to Habakkuk. Let me flip this around so y'all can see it. We're going to go to Habakkuk, verse 19. What is the second chapter? Yeah, second chapter, verse 19. It says, woe unto him. Hold up, we're going to start at verse 18. It said, what profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof have graven it? Molten images, the teacher of lies, the maker of his work, trusted therein to make dumb idols. Woe unto him that saith unto the wood, awake. Woe unto him that saith unto them wood and crosses, awake. And to that dumb stone, that dumb cobblestone, arise. It shall teach, behold, it is laid over with what? Silver and gold. And there is no breath at all in the midst of it. We already know what stone is covered in silver and gold. That's the cobblestone overseas. We already know what that is. That's cat worship. That's pussy worship. They stick their head in the cobblestone. They worshiping women. They worshiping Asherah. We don't worship vagina. And I heard black people can't even touch the cobblestone over there. Nigga, you can't even come near it. We Israel, but you want to be with Islam. And we reading a present day prophecy in Habakkuk saying, woe to anybody who tell a wood and cross to arise, and woe to anybody who tell a dumb stone to arise. You telling a rock to arise? See, that's what's wrong with these people. That's why the Most High said our people was gonna worship wood and stone. And when you look around today, people are still worshiping wood and stone. The brother was just talking about the Pope. That's the wood. Then you got the stone, which is the cobblestone Islam, which came after the death of Christ. Muhammad, all of them came after the death of Christ. See, we already know what happened. We already know what the Roman Catholic Church did. They said, look, man, we can't beat Yeshua. He got all these people following him. So we can't beat them. We gonna join them. We can't beat Yeshua and the Israelites because they got all these people believing in them. We gonna join them and we gonna infiltrate it from the inside out. The same thing they did with the Black Panthers and any other group, Osama bin Laden, whoever they looking for, whoever they trying to get, they infiltrate from the inside out. That happened to Israel. That happened to Egypt. That happened to Africa when they was swindled by all these different nations. Right now, they being swindled by the Chinese to get their resources. But it all starts with the unity being broken up. Same thing that happened to the Indians in America. They infiltrated the tribes. They get some Indians to go against some other Indians. Instead of all of the Indians banding up, no, they infiltrate. They get some Indians, they go against some other Indians. They get some Arabs to go against some other Arabs. It's always deceit, and there's always infiltration, and there's always confusion, and there's always lies, because it's the work of their father, the devil. Let's go into some more prophecies. Let's go into some more prophecies before I get out of there, family. This video is called Present Day Prophecy. We talking about prophecies the scriptures speak of, and that how these prophecies were spoken of in the past and they're going on today. Still. Let's go to Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4:6, family. We ain't done. We are not done. Like I said, this might be a segment, man. We got so many prophecies we could run through. We got, what's up, Lana? What's up, baby? We got so many prophecies to go through. Man, we're going to have to make this a segment. We do this probably every week, every month, or something like that. Okay, Hosea 4:6. And we're going to read. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. And as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore I will change their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on iniquity. And there shall be like a people, like a priest, and I will punish them for their ways, and reward them for their doings. And they shall eat, for they shall eat and not have enough. And they shall commit whoredom, and they shall not increase, but they shall have left off to take heed unto the Lord. Whoredom and wine and new wine taketh the heart. My people ask counsel at their stops. We're going to stop right there. We're going to go back up. It said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Black people are destroyed right now because of a lack of knowledge. You call a black person ignorant, man, you might start a fight. Because deep down inside, we know we ignorant. We support ignorance. We do all kind of ignorance. This said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. What is knowledge? The beginning of the fear of God is the beginning of the knowledge. So if black people, Israelites, don't have knowledge these days, and this is something Hosea was speaking about, and this is something that still goes on today, because we see brothers and sisters destroyed every day because they lack knowledge in whatever the situation may be. They don't have enough knowledge, and ignorance is profitable. If you don't know something, somebody could profit off of you. Somebody could take advantage of you. Somebody could capitalize on you, and they could do whatever they please with you when they have that knowledge and you don't have it. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Okay. They said if you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in the book. Because black men don't like to read. They don't like to read number paychecks and bills. So if you want to hide something from us, put it in the book. And these people saying white people wrote the Bible, but we weren't even allowed to read as slaves, you don't make sense. How did they force the Bible on us and they would poke our eyes out and chop our foot off if they ever caught us reading? See, what they don't want to tell you is the Bible is our book, and it taught us how to read. All you did is have the Gentiles come and use our book against us. That's why everybody watching live, go watch Birth of a Nation about Nat Turner, so you can learn what really went on in slavery and how the Bible or the book was used against us. The Bible wasn't created by them. The Bible was created by us, but since we forgot we created the book and we lack knowledge, they could capitalize off that because my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So anytime you see us as a people being destroyed or taken out, is because we lack knowledge. We don't know the ledge. We don't know the line in the sand. And that's a present day prophecy because if Hosea said my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and I look around today and I see my people are still being destroyed for a lack of knowledge. You still got brothers going to jail because they lack knowledge of the laws. But what they tell you in court, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So they telling you even in court that, fam, just because you ignored or you weren't aware of the laws, it don't take the fact that you finna get charged with this charge. So the same thing, goes for the Most High. Yeah, he got lenience and he got mercy in his heart, but ignorance of the law ain't an excuse for you to break the laws of the Most High. Somebody got to pay for it, whether it's you or it was your ancestors that got to pay for breaking the laws of the Most High. We're going to go to Isaiah 7:4, I believe. Then I'm going to get up out of here, brother. Y'all got any questions, man? Shoot them, man. Shoot them. We're going to read some more prophecies. We're going to go to Isaiah 3, and we're going to start at verse 11. Isaiah 3:11. It says, "Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. As for my people, children are their oppressors." My people meaning the men of today. It said children are their oppressors and women rule over them. So we know when it said my people, is not talking about everybody. It's talking about the men of Israel. It's talking about the men in Israel, letting the children oppress them and letting the women rule over us. It says, "O my people, which lead thee to cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy path." Here's another present day prophecy in Isaiah when it's talking about the children. If you go in Chicago right now, man, the children run the thing, man. The children run the block. The little teenagers, they the ones with the big guns. If you go outside your house right now to this black community and look at how men don't have no power, they're ruled over by women. You ask a man, can he do something these days? He gonna be like, man, let me ask my wife first. These men ain't even real men these days. You know what I'm saying? Scared of their own woman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you supposed to have a little fear for your woman because, women is unpredictable. But at the same time, you dead scared. You dead ass scared. You gonna dead ass let your woman rule over you? You ain't gonna be the head of your household? It ain't about no power struggle or who in control of none of that. It's about, bro, the Most High made you the head, but you letting a woman rule over you. Soon as she mess up, she gonna be blaming you anyways. So you might as well take control of your family already, brother. We're gonna go into Isaiah 7 and 14 because we have another prophecy, present day prophecy. See, but this actually came to pass a couple thousand years ago. See, we had our brother Isaiah prophesying about the coming of Yeshua. Now, everybody talking about Yeshua ain't real and the New Testament is fake. If the New Testament is fake and Yeshua is fake, why is Isaiah speaking about this coming of this Savior if it's fake? Why, Isaiah wouldn't speak about a coming of a Savior in Israel if it wasn't going to come to pass. And it came to pass when Yeshua HaMashiach walked the earth. We knew right then and there that Isaiah was a true prophet. Let's read. It says, "Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive." A virgin shall conceive. Oh, we already know who that is, who that virgin is. That's Mary. It said, "A virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." It says, "Butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to refuse evil and choose the good." Now, when you look up Emmanuel, it says, what you say? Is the sun and the moon outside the firmament? or is it in the dome over the earth, flat earth? I believe the sun and the moon is I would say I want to say it's inside, but I mean I can't really speak on the ordinance of the Most High. You know I could tell you one thing: the man ain't going to the moon. I could tell you that. Ain't nobody went and sat on the moon. The moon, a light. The scripture said I made two greater lights. Can you sit on the light really and go stick a pole in the light? Like these people went out into a desert somewhere in New Mexico and claim they went to the moon. Why? Because they want people to think that they conquered the ordinances of the Most High. They want you to think that they went to Mars and other planets, so you don't have nothing. You don't have to do your own research. This is what these scientists do. They try to pretend they did all the research. They figured everything out to keep you ignorant, so you don't never do your own research. You don't never do your own research. Whether the sun is inside the dome, outside the dome, I really don't know. I know it ain't in outer space, hanging on nothing. I know Earth ain't hanging on nothing, and all these lies they tell. How is the Earth a globe? And the scriptures say to the four corners of the earth. It says spread the truth across the earth. It don't say spread the truth around the earth. Four corners of the earth. It says I scatter my people to the four corners of the earth. You hear ends of the earth in the scripture. Ends. You can't get an end on the basketball. It just keep going around and around and around. You can't get an end on a spear. So, okay, it says Emmanuel. If you look up Emmanuel means God is with us in Hebrew. Okay. So when it speaks about the coming of the Son, when it speaks about this prophecy in Isaiah 7:14, it says, therefore the Lord should give you a sign, and behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and you should call his name Emmanuel. Emmanuel means Yah is with us, or God is with us. So when it say Yah is with us, we know Yeshua was the Most High. He was a representation of the Most High. He said, I and my Father are one. So when Emmanuel or Yeshua came, he played out his name. Yah is with us. He was with us. Yah was with us through Yeshua. So this is a prophecy in Isaiah that ain't even happened yet, that came to pass in that present day, and it's still coming to pass in this present day, because this guy who we called Emmanuel came to be Yeshua HaMashiach, aka Jesus Christ. You said inside the firmament. That's kind of off basis, but we could go. We go to it. You said Genesis what? 2:14. It says, in the name of the third river. I don't know, brother, about that. About the we ain't even gonna go into the flat earth and the sun and the moon. Is it inside the firmament? You know, if you read the scriptures, you know, the Most High in Job, he said, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? So that should let people know right then and there that the earth ain't hanging on nothing. It's hanging on foundations and pillars. The Most High said, where were you when he laid them down? I did a video called The Ordinances of the Most High. These people will never figure out the ordinances of the Most High. He said if you ever could figure out how he make the sun move and how he make the moon move, and if you could ever figure out the ordinances of this earth on how everything go, he'll give his glory over to you. But you will never figure out when it's going to rain. Even the Weather Channel wrong. They don't even know when it's going to rain. So these people will never guess the ordinances of the Most High. They'll never be able to go to the moon, and they got all these. An astronaut just came out and said they never even went to the moon. Had a little girl sitting on his lap, and I guess he got tired of lying and said, you know what, sweetie, we never even went to the moon. That's why the old folks say we don't believe that more than the man on the moon. But you know, this video is called Present Day Prophecies. If y'all got any questions, hit me up, man. I'm finna get up out of. I think I went through enough prophecies for the day. I could go on and on. We might pull one more before we get up out of here. Pull one more prophecy. Just to let y'all know this really happened. These are really prophecies. We're gonna read this one. It says, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 50. 28 and 30. It said, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell in it or live in it. Thou shalt plant vineyards, you shall plant a garden, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. That sounds like slavery to me, man. That sounds like what happened to our ancestors in slavery. This is a present day prophecy. This still is going on. We still don't reap the benefits of our work. It says you should build a house for master and you ain't gonna live. And it says you should get a wife and the slave master's gonna take her from you. How else can you get a wife and another man shall lie with her? That's a sin. That's your wife. That sounds like what was going on in Egypt. That sounds like what went on in Egypt when Moses killed the man when he found out the man took the man's wife. Because that's what Egyptians did. This is why Abraham had to tell the Egyptians Sarah's his sister, because if he would have told them that Sarah's his wife, another man would have lied with her. And this was happening in Egypt, and it happened in the second Egypt, in America. You said it's skipping, man. Man, the government don't want this truth to get out, man. Like I was saying, I don't know if it was skipping or not. Just like in America, or just like in Egypt when it was an Egyptian culture for them to take people's wives, you find that going on in Egypt over here in America that we was brought to by ships, where you have another man taking another man's wife. Just like we were in hard bondage by the Egyptians, we're in hard bondage by the Gentiles over here. The Most High done brought us into Egypt again. Out of all these prophecies, we need to remember that because it's right on the back of your dollar bill, which you use to spend money every day. The sign right in front of you every day. Present day prophecies going on right in front of your face. Rumors of wars, but nothing is jumping off. And that's just the beginning. People saying that they Christ and they're not. All of these are present day prophecies because it's still going on today and it was prophesied in the past. All praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. I wish I could stay longer, family, but I got to get up out of here. I love y'all. I will be back. Shalom. I'm going to holler at y'all, man. Hit me up in the comments. Y'all got any questions? I love y'all. Shalom. Shalom.